All right, man. Welcome to another episode of the Phin Outta Water Football Podcast. I'm your host with the most, B.Herbo. I got my brother from another mother, Rodman, in the building. And this is the football podcast brought to you by real football fans, man. So first thing first, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Phin Outta Water Podcast, or Phin Outta Water. You can find us on YouTube and whatnot, man. So this is a Dolphins podcast for Dolphin fans, and we're giving it to you from that real perspective, man. So first things first, Rod, how are you feeling off of this good draft weekend, brother?
Um, I'll be honest with you, Herbie. When it comes down to it, when we first made our picks, I was a little confused, right? But now that I've had time, I've kind of looked up some of the guys, and I'm thinking about what the Dolphins are trying to do, and I'm pretty content with our draft, dog.
Wait, matter of fact, not to cut you off, I just remember this. So, guys, we are in a bit of a transition period. Unfortunately, we had to find a new hoster to host our podcast, bruh. So we're not gonna have all the nice backgrounds and all of that stuff that you normally see that's associated with this podcast, bro. So while we're in the transition period, as you can see, we're using StreamYard, we're going different things. So be patient with us while we find a new home. Like, even our names don't even look the same, bro. Like, this shit look janky as hell, but no disrespect to the StreamYard, dog. You know, y'all might be a sponsor down the road, long time down the road, bro. So no disrespect. But I just wanted to get that out there for anybody who's like, damn, this shit look kind of different, bro. So I want to explain that. But go ahead, my bro.
No, man. What ends up happening now is I see the thought process that the team was trying to go to. Like, for example, our first pick of the draft, which ended up being a second round pick, it was Cam Smith, who has a first round grade, and when at first I was like, damn, we're getting another corner. But when I thought about it, I'm like, you know what, this is most definitely a Vic Fangio pick. So overall, man, I'm pretty happy with our draft. I mean, we didn't have a lot of picks, so the Dolphins decided to kind of do a kind of a best player available type of deal, and I can't really be mad about that, especially when you consider Cam Smith had a first round grade by a lot of people. Devin Achane, well, I don't really know how to pronounce his name, but the running back that we got, he's the fastest nigga in the draft. He runs I want to say he runs a 4.32 in the 40.
4.32, a 4.32 40, my boy.
So he's a home run hit. He literally has the same speed as Raheem Mostert. So the Dolphins added another home run hitter to the offense, and Mike McDaniel was really happy to get this guy, which means he believes that this guy can work in our running offense in the zone blocking scheme. So in our 6th and 7th round pick with a wide receiver and an offensive tackle, you hope that they can at least be quality depth, or they'll be camp bodies. We'll see what happens with them. But overall, man, I mean, with what we had, we got two really good, promising players in the earlier rounds. So I'm good, bro.
Okay, but so before we go ahead and actually really deep dive into the draft, I wanted to go ahead and touch on the big news, though, right? So, because it wasn't just a draft weekend. Now, normally draft has been dominating, bro, because it's still going on. I don't even know if it's finished yet at this point.
I think it still might be going on.
Yeah, it might just be going on for real. So, but before we actually deep dive into the actual draft, because that's going to be majority of the show right now, though. So there's two things I did want to touch on. Big news that accompanied the draft this year, right? Which is one, Aaron Rodgers getting traded officially and finally. But the bigger news beyond that, which I definitely wanted to touch on, which is the fact that Lamar Jackson finally got this deal. He signed for the richest contract in NFL history. It was a $260 million deal with $185 million guaranteed. And I say all this to say this. If you sign for 185, what the F was the point in all of this, bro? Like,
you know what ended up happening, Herbie, and this is what I believe. Lamar was probably hell bent on trying to do that 200 mil until the Jalen Hurts contract came out, and he's a nigga that just went to the Super Bowl, and I think seeing how they did his contract, what he got paid, I guess it kind of forced Lamar. I mean, he's making 52 mil a year. Like, shit, this nigga's sad. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at it, I think Jalen Hurts getting his deal done kind of probably made Lamar step back a bit, and him and the Ravens, they were able to kind of get a compromise going. And here we are, man. I mean, it's funny because it's just like, damn, Lamar, you ended up getting less than 200 million anyway. But shit, I mean, you can't be mad about 185.
The thing though, so the reason why I say what was the point, because if you believe the reports, right, the reports say that they offered him this last year. So he took a deal that he was going to get anyway, that he was offered last year, allegedly. We always got to say allegedly, right? So my whole thing was, you went through training camp, you went through the messiness of demanding a trade, you went through all of the nonsense of social media. And again, we already said it on the pod. If they come to an agreement, it's not going to matter. Hey, what's up, mama?
Okay, Baby Z.
Baby Z wants to be a star, bro. Come on. Hold on. Come get her, Leah. Take her, please. Leah,
look at Baby Z, dog. Oh, snap.
Yeah, so like I was saying, damn, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, like I was saying, like for whatever reason, it didn't mean anything. Like, what was the entire point in all of this, dog? Like, and you hit it on the head, bro. Once Jalen Hurts took 179 guaranteed, it was a no-win battle, right? Because you can't be the only person fighting for a fully guaranteed contract at this point.
Facts.
Look at the names who didn't get a guaranteed contract. As a matter of fact, I could actually pull it up right now, right? Give me 1 second.
Dog, it's so funny, bro, because that man did all that drama, dog.
all of that drama, bro. All of that drama for what?
Drama, bro.
All of that drama for what reason, bro? So, I have it pulled up right now. Jalen Hurts, 255, 51 average salary, $51 million a year. But it doesn't matter. It's about this right here. Guaranteed money, 179.3. Patrick Mahomes, is 145.5. This is the list. This is average salary, right? And this is guaranteed money. Russell Wilson, 161. Russell Wilson is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, last year and the last 2 years might have knocked him out of the Hall of Fame permanently. Who knows? But he's still signed for that. Kyler Murray, 159.8. Aaron Rodgers, 150.8. Josh Allen, 150. Patrick Mahomes, 141. Matthew Stafford, 130, which is disgusting. Dak Prescott, 126. At the end of the day, this is the outlier, bro. This was always the outlier. This is a once-in-a-lifetime stupid decision. So it just wasn't feasible for that to be the reality for this man. And I think he finally came to terms with that. And it was like, all right, I'm not going to win this battle. Like, and they're not disrespecting me. Because at no point in time did I ever think that the Ravens were disrespecting him. Was it kind of disrespectful to put that specific tag on him? Yes. But if you understand why they did that, it's because they knew they could. Because they know nobody was going to try to poach him from them. So, yeah, man, that's just my thoughts, is that it ultimately became a giant waste of time, bro, which is crazy.
It did become a giant waste of time, bro. But ultimately now when you look at the Ravens, when you see that they signed Odell, they drafted Zay Flowers in the first round. They actually drafted a guy last year who got hurt. Now the Ravens offensively are starting to look a little more like you would want. Still he doesn't have the core that obviously other young quarterbacks have in the league. But when you consider Mark Andrews, Odell, the potential of Zay Flowers and other guys, now that Lamar has come back, Lamar now has more of a chance, or he should have more of a chance to be able to blossom. And that just depends on whoever the offensive coordinator is or ends up being. I don't know who they were, because I know they got rid of Greg Roman, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they got rid of Greg Roman, yeah. So they have a new offensive coordinator.
So they have a new guy. So we'll see how they decide to improve and advance on the passing game, because when you really look at the Ravens offense, and look, there's no shame in being predicated on running the ball, because at the end of the day, teams are more finesse these days now than ever. When you look at these linebackers and some of these defenders, a lot of these guys are a little smaller and they're quicker and they're faster. So when you have a tough team that's physical and they can actually control the clock, control the ground game, that's actually a really really fortunate thing to have. So obviously, the Ravens will probably stick to doing that, but we hope to see more out of the passing game, and with these receiving weapons that he has now, we could hope that Lamar maybe can have another MVP season.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next topic, man, which is Aaron Rodgers, man. So Aaron Rodgers is finally this man finally is a New York Jet, bro. So
Yeah, but
I'm just happy because I'm just like, bro, like this was getting out of hand, bro. Like all right, I've never seen this when it's obvious that this is the end goal, but everybody wants to act like this is not where it's heading, bro. I've never seen this in my life, dog. Like this is a trade that was official for 3 weeks, but not official. I've never seen that in my life. To quote the great Skip Bayless, bro, I've never seen anything quite like it, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? So how do you feel about him actually being a part of the AFC East now at this point? Officially, my guy.
Well, I mean, when you think about what the Jets did yet last season, right? And I have the stats pulled up right here, right? When you look at defensively, they were fourth in points for, they were fourth in yards. So defensively, they were top 5 all across the board. When you look at where they ranked offensively, Herbie, they were 29th in points. They were 25th in yards. And when you look at what a quarterback, listen, this isn't prime A-Rod, right? Like we know that Aaron Rodgers is well past what he used to be. But what is he, 2 years removed from an MVP? So I'd reckon to believe that he still has some juice in the tank. And if there's a team that can make the best out of what Rodgers has left, much like how Tom Brady went to Tampa and they made the best of what he had left, it's the Jets. I do think Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets is going to be a significant challenge in the AFC East because this is a team that the Dolphins will have to play twice. Their young defense will only have gotten better. And I looked at the Jets draft a little bit. I'm just like, God damn, they added more to the defense, dog. So when you add into the fact of what they have already established, and then you get a guy like Aaron Rodgers, a veteran guy like Aaron Rodgers, who could really make the best out of the receiving talent that they have, the Jets are going to be the Jets. I think there'll be a problem in the AFCs, dog. It's funny because I'm saying this, and these niggas are still third to me, dog. They're still going to be third, but they'll be a really strong third team in the division, much like when you look at a division like, let's say, who's a division that has a strong third team? The AFC North has the Bengals and the Ravens. If Deshaun Watson could look like how he used to, then you have another player there. If Russell Wilson ever gets his act together under Sean Payton, I mean, he looked really bad last year. We'll see if a coaching change will be able to help him. Although I'm not too I'm not too confident about that. But let's just say Russell Wilson kind of returns to form. You have a team you have a division with the Chiefs and the Chargers. So Aaron Rodgers will just be another AFC team to add to this big mix of just really talented quarterbacks and teams. So man, I know Aaron is older, Herbie, and I feel, and there's a part of me that feels like I shouldn't be worried, but it's like, damn, that's Aaron Rodgers. That's a top 5 quarterback all time, in my opinion.
All time, bro.
So,
all time.
And he still got juice. Hey, and he still got juice in the tank. Last year, you could see it fading a little bit, but the Packers last year were just a hot ass mess, and he was a part of it.
Yeah, but the thing is about Aaron Rodgers is his 80% is better than 99.9% of the league, right? Like
Facts.
Him at 80% is still better than majority of quarterbacks that starting, bro. Him at 80% is better than Matthew Stafford. Him at 80% is better than, I would argue, Justin Herbert, bro, because Justin Herbert really, really lost me in that playoff performance last year, bro. You know what I'm saying? Him at 80% is better than Jalen Hurts. Like, Jalen Hurts is just on a phenomenal team, right? So him at 80% on a team that has a lot of weapons and a really good defense could really be something special. And I don't want to let how they finished last year, and I'm talking about the Packers, kind of color my opinion on the potential that the Jets could have this season, right? And I think it could be actually pretty awesome, bro. So that's just how I feel, man.
No, I mean, it's fair to feel that way. I mean, for me, it's always fuck the Jets, nigga. But I'll give him props for props is due. I mean, look, let's be honest here. Like, and I like Tua, but Aaron Rodgers is what, the second best quarterback in the division now? Like, Tua has to prove that he could repeat what he did last year. And
Shit, nigga. I like Josh Allen, bro, but I'm not gonna just unequivocally say that Josh Allen is better than. I mean, it's just
that's
unequivocally
fair.
better than Aaron Rodgers.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, what is Josh Allen? Josh Allen had one of the greatest playoff games of all time, and that's it, right?
That's
like, he's living off of that game.
He's living off of that game. He's living off of the fact that he's so much better than the majority of people or draft nerds or whatever nerds thought he was gonna be. Right. And that's really what it comes down to. But if you look at the totality of his career up until this point, he has been a really good player. Yeah. He has not been a player that I should say is without question better than Aaron Rodgers right now. And again, that's it fair. Could be proven to be true, but I want to actually see it. And we're going to see it 2 times this year at Buffalo and New Jersey. Because the cat in the bag or the little thing that nobody knows is that the New York Jets don't play in New York, bro, which is hilarious.
That's hilarious as hell.
They play fucking New Jersey, bro. But whatever, man. So let's just go ahead and move on there, man. So let's go on to the first round, bro. So the biggest surprises of the first round. How much of the first round did you watch? Did you watch everything, or you were like really caught up with what was going on that first round of the draft?
I actually ended up going to a little bar, but I was doing laundry during the draft, but I went to the little burger stop by my crib. So I watched like the first half. I didn't really watch the second half of the draft, even though I have the picks up and see who chose what. But I just remember while I was watching the draft, thinking to myself, like, damn, nobody's going to pick Will Levis? Woo! That boy showed up for nothing. He showed up for nothing. That boy was hot too. That boy was hot, bro. What is it about this dude that they just said F you, bro?
All right, okay. All right, so this is what we'll do. We'll get into the Will Levis because we'll save that for the back half, right? Because I know why the NFL was like, no, bro, no. Like, he was just a smokescreen this entire time. Y'all thought we liked him. We don't like him. It's the same thing that happened with Malik Willis last year. Right. People literally tricked themselves into thinking that Malik Willis was going to get drafted by the Seahawks last year in the top 10, bro. He didn't get drafted to the third round. Like, it was obvious nobody liked him, bro. You know what I'm saying? Except for people on TV just for the fact that he was black. So people wanted him to be better than the NFL actually believed him to be. And you can tell that the Titans don't like him either, bro, because they drafted Will Levis, bro. But we'll get to that, bro. So I wanted to focus in on actually like the first half, like specifically the top 10, right? So what was the biggest surprise to you in the top 10?
The biggest surprise to me in the top 10, the biggest surprise to me in the top 10 was how aggressive the Texans were. Because, we knew they had the second pick. But what I didn't expect was for them to trade back into the third pick and grab Will Anderson, who I think could translate pretty well to the NFL. I thought that actually kind of impressed me, dog, because it showed like DeMeco Ryans is coming in here and he's just like, nigga, I'm trying to change this shit. Like, I'm trying to build for the future. So I could respect that. The second thing that probably surprised me the most was the Eagles getting Jalen Carter. Because I wasn't expecting him to fall that far, Herbie. like, bro, talk about the rich getting freaking richer. Like, how much more fucking guys do you need on that D-line? You already had a rotation going, man.
Bro, don't remind me, dog. Like, I've never been more sick in my life, dog. And
you see Micah Parsons' reaction to that shit?
Bro, I was Micah Parsons, bro. I was him, dog. Like, I was sick, bro. So let me go ahead and speak on both of those things real quick, right? So let me speak on the Will Levis, and let me get this pulled up real quick on my end, right? Because the Will Levis one really hurt me bad, bro. Like, it hurt me bad, bro. Not Will Levis. I'm in the Jalen Carter one. That hurt me. That hurt me, dog. Like, that hurt me. And where is the actual link? Boom, there it is. So, Will Levis. I mean, why do I keep saying Will Levis, bro? It just rolls off your tongue. Will Anderson. Will Anderson, right? So, the Cardinals had a the third overall pick. They traded with the Texans. The Texans had the 12th pick. The Texans swapped those picks, gave up the 33rd pick of this draft, and a first and third of next year's draft for Will Anderson. To me, that is nonsense, bro. I'm sorry. That's,
they paid a steep price.
It's not even that they paid a steep price. One, you don't trade that many picks. You don't trade a first round pick and a third for a potential edge rusher that never played, right? Like, if Will Anderson was already in the NFL and he's a proven perennial Pro Bowler, proven perennial All-Pro, I get it. If he was Khalil Mack, I get it, right? You're trading those picks for somebody who ultimately can't really affect the game all that much to the point where it translates to wins. And I get it, right? If he's ultimately a Hall of Famer, nobody's going to care. I have my reservations because I don't think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I've been watching him, and I've really been trying my best to fall in love with Will Anderson because Will Anderson, the person, is phenomenal. He's a great person. I watched one interview for him. I'm like, oh, I love this guy. I freaking love this dude.
And you know what? That's one thing I noticed the Texans were definitely going for. They're definitely going for high character, quality guys.
It's the Nick Cassero aspect, right? And that could ultimately backfire. You know what I'm saying? Because one of the things that the Patriots did, and Nick Cassero is from the Patriots as well as Jack Esterby, is that they drafted high character people. But the reason why they got away with it is because they had Tom Brady.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if all things were considered, the way they do it is, if it's almost equal, or the person that we feel has less character but is slightly better as a football player, we'll go with the person that has higher character, right? And I understand that because ultimately the person that has high football character and high character in general is probably going to be more available, more committed to playing football. Cool. The top 5 is supposed to be who's ever the best. Like,
you're right.
You know what I'm saying? And again, there's a video by Alex Rollins. I know you know Alex Rollins.
I watch his videos. Yeah,
he did a video where he talked about Tyree Wilson and Will Anderson, and he showed that in his opinion, he don't like none of them. And when I watched that video, I'm like, oh my God, like for real, Will Anderson. Anytime he played somebody that was actually going to get drafted, right? Specifically Darnell Wright, who got drafted 10th overall to the Chicago Bears. He got his ass whooped, Rod.
They shut him down.
He got his ass whooped, right? Tennessee didn't even double him. They didn't chip him. They didn't do anything because they knew that they didn't have to. I don't want my top 3 pick that you traded a first and a third in next year's draft to be viewed as somebody that we don't have to double if we have somebody that's good enough to play him one-on-one in college.
Right.
I can't do it. I can't do it. And then another thing is I've been watching stuff on PFF. PFF has him with one of the lowest pass rush grades for a potential top 5 pick if you compare him to other recent top-tier edge rushers, right? His PFF grade, I think, was like a 79. Aiden Hutchinson was at a 90. Nick Bosa was at a 94. Myles Garrett was at like a 96. You know what I'm saying? Chase Young was at like a 94. All these people that he's in competition with, or he should be compared to, were 12 points better than him in college.
Right.
So there are signs that he might not be that good. Like, I think because he's the Trevor Lawrence of edge rushers, bro. His freshman year, he was tapped as the best edge rusher. As soon as he's available, he's going to be number 1, right? And he's been holding on to that since he's been drafted. He only had 10 sacks last year. All of his numbers were down last year. Can you think of one game where he dominated last year? I know you're not a real big college guy, but even in the college football playoffs,
I mean, there are college football players that stand out to you even if you don't watch it much, but he never stood out to me.
And I'm talking about last year. The year before, 2 years ago, yeah, for sure. He was all over the place. I remembered him. This last year, Rod, can you think of any time in the college football playoff that he popped off your screen?
Nah, I can't say. You're right. I can't think of a single moment, a single play, nothing.
So again, my whole thing is based off of what I've seen, based off of him going against somebody that's actually going to be in the NFL, and based off of the fact that he really didn't pop this past year, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. But I don't run a multi-billion-dollar franchise, bro. So shit, who am I? They don't give a fuck about me, bro. Like, it is what it is.
Well, I think the most fascinating thing about these drafts all the time, right, is that there are people, Herbie, that get paid. Like guys like you and me, any kind of research we do, we have to find the time to do it in between our regular lives. There are people who spend hours. It is their job to really look at all the tape. And when I think about it, I'm not trying to justify their pick because at the end of the day, the draft is a crapshoot, right? Like no matter what you think, no matter what you thought, you don't really know until the guys get into the organization and then they get into the room, they get into the practice room and film room, and then they get on the field. That's when you start finding out about a guy. But when I think about Will Anderson, I mean, I guess the Texans scouting department saw, because bro, they could have had Jalen Carter, they could have had other guys, bro, and they decided to go with him. So I just have to imagine whether it was his measurables, whether it was his combine, which I don't have on me right now, or there's something about him that they seen that they thought that they could make use of. And DeMeco Ryans is a defensive-minded coach. So I would like to think that even if maybe he had a down year, maybe they feel like they could coach him up to his potential. Although to move up to 3 and give up what you gave up for just potential is kind of wild. But I mean, it's all potential regardless in the end. But hey, listen, man, they trying, right? They trying.
They're trying. They definitely trying. Listen, bro. Again, like for this to work, and we'll move on to the rest of the draft, right? For this to work, he has to be Myles Garrett. He has to be. He has to be Myles Garrett. Like, he can't be a good player,
right,
for you to trade and act like he's a quarterback and treat him like he's a quarterback as far as what you gave up to get him, right? And it's obvious the reason why they did that, and this could transition into the next conversation, which is about the quarterbacks, is they wanted to draft him at number 2, but they couldn't afford to let C.J. Stroud go.
Right.
So the reason why they did what they did is because they're like, we are not going to get C.J. Stroud at 12. So we're going to draft C.J. Stroud at 2 and then find a way to get Will Anderson.
Right.
If Will Anderson was that important, Arizona wouldn't have traded with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
They happily gave up their spot. Dog.
They gave up that spot. They were like, "Oh shit, fuck it, a first next year and a third next year, bad." Hey, man, we're gonna really miss Will Anderson. That's how they were acting, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So it is what it is, bro. So let's transition over to the quarterbacks, man. So we had 3 quarterbacks in the first round. We thought it was gonna be 4, possibly in the top 15, possibly in the top 10. But it only ultimately was 3.
Right.
3 in the top 5, actually. And there is a paradigm shift in the NFL, right, where the 2 quarterbacks that are built on potential, the NFL took the black one, dog. This is a new day, Rod.
It's a new day.
This is a new day.
Imagine, dog. Hey, and there was a dude who put a lot of money on that, like on Will Levis, man, and I think it's a Reddit user, man, and that nigga disappeared, bro.
Oh yeah, he's sick.
Yeah, he disappeared, bro. I think it was like plus 1,000.
So this is what happened, bro. Will Levis started at, I think, a plus 1,400, and by the day of the draft, he was at minus 400 to be drafted within the top 10. He didn't get drafted in the first round. He didn't get drafted within the first 49 picks.
Jesus. God damn.
Yeah, right. But let's go. Like I said, I'll still save it with Will Levis, right? So Bryce Young went to the Panthers. C.J. Stroud went to the Texans. And surprisingly, Anthony Richardson went to the Indianapolis Colts, bro. I can't think of a person that fits a city less than Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis.
What? I was
Indiana.
thinking the same thing, bro. I was thinking the same thing. Of all the teams that draft this guy, these guys draft him.
Oh my God, I wanted him to go to Atlanta so bad, bro, because he would have been a superstar with the Falcons, bro. But
Instantly,
yeah, man. So, what do you think about the draft as far as where the quarterbacks went, and how do you feel about each quarterback in each situation, Rod?
Well, to be honest, I mean, I guess time will really tell about all these guys. But as of right now, I think Bryce Young, to me, I thought he was the best quarterback coming out. So I thought the Panthers, they did a good thing by him. I'll be honest, I don't really know who the hell is on their roster, Herbie. Like after they traded DJ Moore, I don't know who their receivers are. I can't name one receiver, one running back, one no. I can't name anybody. So I don't expect him in his rookie year to have just a phenomenal season. But I do expect to see some flashes of what he could be in the future moving forward. So I think the Carolina Panthers are in good shape. Same with CJ Stroud. To be honest with you, Herbie, I've never been big on quarterbacks from Ohio State, dog. But at the end of the day, CJ Stroud in college, he shows some signs of being a really good quarterback. And the Texans, more power to them. They got him. And then Anthony Richardson, who I had my reservations about whether he would go as early as he did, because he was such a boomer bust projection type of a player. Because he's kind of like this year's version of Trey Lance in a way, to where it's like, if it works out, it could really work out. Because and then at least in his case, the coach of his team has a blueprint, because he was in Philly and he helped develop Jalen Hurts. So he went to a team that already has an idea of how they're going to try to settle him in. So I feel like he actually has a pretty good chance of blooming, so long as the Colts can continue to build some talent around him, right? Because that's what it ultimately comes down to. Like, people look at Tom Brady and they look at the success he's had, and then you look at many of the offenses that he was a part of, and you see that he never really had any great receivers that he played with, but he's one of one. You think of every other I can't think of any other quarterback that did it with no names, Herbie. Like I can't.
Right.
Like every other quarterback you can think of had some really, really good top 10, even top 5 receivers. So obviously what it comes down to is these teams have to, you don't just draft a quarterback and you're set. You got to continue. Now, if you get yourself a Mahomes, you're in the clear, because Mahomes right now, he has Travis Kelce, who's a Hall of Fame tight end. So he has that. But ultimately what it comes down to is you want to make sure you continue to build around them. So as of right now, I think all these teams are in good shape. Like last year's draft, I didn't feel as good as I do about the teams this year, and we'll see what happens moving forward.
Hey man, last year's draft is going to prove to be one of the worst quarterback drafts of all time, bro.
Easily.
Like, it was
easily,
really
bro.
Bad, bro. Like,
yeah.
You got to think about it, bro. Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis, and Kenny Pickett came out in that draft, nigga. That's horrifying. That's horrifying, bro.
Horrific.
That's nasty, bro. Like, and quarterbacks literally get promoted and drafted like possibly like a round or two before they should, if you want to keep it a buck, just because they're quarterbacks. But last year's, man, was nasty. This year wasn't as bad because you actually had players that really are intriguing, right? So funny thing that you brought up the Carolina Panthers, bro. I actually have their depth chart right here. Their wide receivers are DJ Chalk, Adam Thielen, and a washed Adam Thielen, by the way, Terrace Marshall Jr., and Laviska Shenault. Bryce Young, boy, you coming into a paradise, my boy. Like, you coming into a paradise, my boy.
Man, that's rough.
That's rough, man. And their running back is Sanders Miles, bro. So we're gonna learn a lot about Bryce Young, based off of what he could do with these weapons that don't exist. And listen, the Panthers traded to get the number 1, so they gave up DJ Moore in the process. But in my opinion, and I like Bryce Young. I like him a lot. I think he's fucking awesome. However, dude, number 1 for Bryce Young, that dude is literally 5'10", 195, bro.
He is small. He's
not small, Rod. He is the smallest person to ever be drafted where he's drafted at his position. It's more than being small, bro. Like he's a kid. Like there's a picture of Bryce Young next to Anthony Richardson, dog. They look like they are not even supposed to be playing the same sport.
But I mean, he can't be shorter than Kyler. Is he shorter than
Yes,
Kyler?
he is shorter than Kyler because Bryce Young is 5'10". Kyler is the shortest 5'11" person on the planet, bro.
Okay, so he is shorter than.
But officially, Kyler is 5'11". Officially, bro.
Right.
Again, I don't see it, bro. There's no way that if you and Kyler Murray walk next to each other, Kyler Murray is taller than you, Rod. That's impossible, dog. I can't see it. But officially, yes, he's officially shorter than Kyler Murray. Matter of fact, I think they're both 10, but I think Kyler is like a couple of inches or quarter inches taller than him or whatever. So, but they're both 5'10". They're both 5'10". Here's the problem. Yeah. Here's the problem. Kyler is over 200 pounds. Kyler has one of the strongest arms in the league. Kyler has a really, no homo, fat ass, bro, which means that he has a lot of power in his lower body.
Right.
Bryce has none of these things. The biggest thing about Bryce is his ability to create. The biggest problem with Bryce is the fact that he forces himself into positions to force himself to make shit out of happen, to display his ability to create. He creates the problems that he has to get out of. Dog.
Right. Right. He puts himself in a hole to dig out of. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. He's one of those guys for sure.
And you could do that at Alabama. I don't know if you could do that at NFL. If you're going to do it at any place, obviously do it at Alabama, do it in the SEC because that's the closest to the NFL. But like Derrick Henry said on Taylor Lewan's podcast, he said, people, and I'm paraphrasing, people ask me all the time, is there a difference between college and NFL? And Derrick Henry is one of the biggest people to ever play in the NFL relative to his position. He said, it's not even close.
Not even close, dog.
He played at Alabama.
Yeah, it's not even. And he's right.
He said it's night and day. So to give up what they gave up, and based off of his outlier status as a quarterback, that's a lot for Bryce Young, bro. Like if they went with Anthony Richardson, I get it. If they went with C.J. Stroud, I get it. But for Bryce, dog.
I mean, the older I get, I will say, physical traits definitely matter more than I mean, they matter. They really do. You know what I mean? Having the right height, the right size. And there aren't many little quarterbacks, man, that have success, but they're playing on that creatability, Herbie. They're playing on his ability to be a playmaker. They're hoping that can outweigh the physical, and we're just gonna have to wait and see if that can happen.
I mean, I hope so too, because if he hits, he's going to be right under Patrick Mahomes as the most fun quarterback to watch. Like right. We watched his highlights, bro. Like this nigga's out here throwing balls and celebrating before somebody even catches it, dog. Like he's literally acting like Steph Curry out there on the field, bro.
Right. And you know what? The Panthers could use that kind of swag too.
They could use that, bro. They haven't had that since Cam Newton, bro. So
facts.
As far as Anthony Richardson, right, going to Indianapolis, I know I joked about there's somebody who he is so different from what is used to. Like he is Gainesville, Florida, all the way through. You know what I'm saying? And to put him in the whitest city in America, dog, that's just going to be a culture shock. But with that, there is a good situation there. You know what I'm saying? And I hope it hits. But my only reservation is that he is not going to get the time that he needs. And you mentioned Trey Lance, right? Trey Lance is 6'5", 230, ran a 4.4 or 4.38, whatever the fuck it was, or 4.5, whatever the fuck it was, right? Rocket arm, right? He had a bunch of tools. Trey Lance played at North Dakota State. And when he got on the field, he realized that the speed that he played at North Dakota State was several leagues lower than what the NFL is.
Oh, yeah, paled in comparison completely, yeah.
Anthony Richardson played at SEC. And he didn't play on a great team, and he played against great teams. He played against not Vanderbilt, but whatever. He played against Tennessee, which was a really good team. He played against Alabama.
Against Georgia,
Played Georgia. Like, he's seen what the speed is. So, if anything, he's much further along in this process than Trey Lance is, even though they're comparable to amount of starts and amount of passes thrown. He's much further along because he wasn't on the overwhelming team. He was on a team that was flawed, and he had to create a lot. Trey Lance never had to do that. So I think he's better suited to be a better football player, bro. Now let's talk about Jalen Carter, dog. God fucking damn it, bro.
Oh, man.
Oh, God, bro.
Nah, I know that made you sick when you seen that shit,
sick
dog.
to my stomach, dog. Like when I seen them trade with the Bears from 9 to 10. I mean from 10 to 9. I knew who they were drafting, dog. They didn't have to say it, bro. There was only two people that they were gonna draft. It was either gonna be Bijan Robinson or Jalen Carter. Bijan went at 8 to the Atlanta Falcons. Terrible pick by Atlanta because y'all not gonna use him, or he can't help y'all. It is what it is. So when Bijan went, like either way, I was gonna be fucked.
You know what, Herb? I was shocked, and you know, I know we're gonna get to Will Levis, but I was shocked they didn't take him. I thought they were gonna take him.
You
when
thought
I was watching
that the Eagles were going to take Will Levis when they just gave
no the Falcons. I'm talking about the Falcons.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess they're going with Desmond Ridder, man.
Bro,
holy shit!
When I seen them say Jalen Carter, dog, and it's not only that they don't even need him because they have so much depth at that position. It's the fact that it is the perfect place for him to land to get the best out of him because there's so many dogs in that locker room. There's so many vets in that locker room that he can't slack off. He can't. You have your teammates that are there, Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean. You know what I'm saying? That were drafted there last year. You have people like Brandon Graham. You have people like Fletcher Cox who, if you even think about falling off, they're going to get in your ass.
Right.
So it made me so sick because I'm like, not only is he going to a place where he's not going to worry about double teams or anything. Like he could get the best out of his physical talents while he's developing. He's going to a place that's going to get the best out of him. And he's going to a place that's the NFC East. So I got to see this nigga 2 times a year for the rest of my life, dog. Why, bro? Why?
The rich get richer, my friend.
Bro, they got Jordan Davis last year, Rod.
They don't care, bro. They want more. I want more.
Like, it was a lose-lose situation, dog. Like, either let the offense get Bijan Robinson or the defense get Jalen Carter, dog. I was effed either way, bro. There was no lesser of two evils in this situation. I was fucked, bro.
Yeah, I mean, ain't nothing you could do, man. You know what? I don't even know. Who did the Cowboys draft?
We'll get to that, bro. We drafted Mozzie Smith, bro, but we'll get to that, dog. Rod, can I ask you a question?
What's up, bro?
What the fuck were the Detroit Lions doing, bro?
Dude, I don't even know, Herbie. I wish I could tell you, dog. Like, their draft confused me as much as it probably confused you, dog. I don't know what they had going on, dog.
I was like, wait, y'all drafted Jahmyr Gibbs 12th?
They could have got him where they originally were. They didn't have to trade up to get that nigga.
No, they ain't trade, remember. So they traded back because they traded their pick. They traded with Carolina. So, I mean, not Carolina, the Cardinals. Because remember, the Texans traded with Arizona, and they got the 12th pick. Lions were 6th. Lions traded with Arizona from 6th, and they went back to the 12th.
Right.
What happened is I'm thinking they thought that they were going to be able to get Bijan Robinson with the 12th pick. Bijan went 8th. They realized, they said, oh, shit.
They didn't have a game plan at all.
They didn't have a game plan when Bijan went off the board. And they said, fuck it. I guess we'll draft fucking, what's the name, bro?
Jahmyr Gibbs, yeah.
And that's crazy, bro.
That is, dude, if you're a scouting department, bro, if you know that at the end of the day, Herbie, you always got to have a backup plan. Like, you got to, like, bro, y'all niggas spend months, a year preparing for this, bro. And then the one guy you wanted is not there. And now you're flustered. Like, come on, bro. Like, the Lions is going to be the Lions, dog. Because I understand drafting Bijan where you draft him.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But Jahmyr Gibbs, dog.
Jahmyr Gibbs is 5'9", 199, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Like, he doesn't fit the profile of somebody that you draft in the first round. And if you're going to draft him in the first round, do it at the back half. Like, trade back. Trade back.
Right.
Like trade back. Like, they were going into that draft drafting a running back no matter what.
Oh, they didn't give a damn.
It's just they drafted the wrong one at the wrong time.
Didn't they trade their other running back too? They traded Swift, no?
They traded DeAndre Swift to the Eagles, dog.
Oh, yeah, he did go to the Eagles. I
was hoping that you wouldn't bring that up, bro.
Like, I forgot who he went to. I wouldn't have if
it's been a long day for me. It's been a long weekend, Rod. Like, for real, dog. It's been
God damn, man. Howie Roseman, man. What a motherfucker, bro.
I've been sick, man. So let's go ahead and get into our teams, though, man. Let's go ahead and get into our teams, bro. So, Rod, man, Miami Dolphins draft, man. What is your draft grade for the Miami Dolphins, my guy?
Woo, my draft grade for the Dolphins. I gotta be honest here. I think if I give us a grade, it'd probably be a B. I'd give the Dolphins a B. I didn't think we hit it out the park. I was really, really hoping we were gonna get a tight end, bro. And that just wasn't in the cards. But you know what? I'm cool with what we have. Like, the players that we ended up drafting, Cam Smith. At the end of the day, I know some Dolphins fans were kind of confused about that pick, and I was too initially. But when you think about it, you got a guy in Vic Fangio who, if there's anything, he gets the best out of his secondary players, right? And then you already have Ramsey, you have Xavier Howard, who had a bit of a down year last year, despite while playing hurt. He didn't play up to his usual standard. So what you do is you add to the riches, right? Like, he'll get to learn from two of the best corners in the league, and the depth is there in case somebody goes down. And then you look at you look at Devon Chain, who, this dude is as fast as it gets. I was watching some of his highlights, and I was like, damn, I'm kind of happy we got this nigga. And we got him for the third round, you know, which is when you really can draft. Like, that's why I don't understand. Like, Bijan, I get. But there's only maybe one, maybe two at the most running backs. And there wasn't in this draft, in my opinion, that you get in the first round, Herbie. Running backs, you can pick these guys up in the third, fourth round, and they can end up being really good. But in our case, you know, the Dolphins added some pieces on both sides of the ball. We added some depth at key positions in wide receiver and offensive tackle. I don't know much about our picks, so I won't even talk about them. At least the other two picks, I looked into them. And Cam Smith, I know a lot of people had some negative opinions about him in college, but he was asked to do a lot in college, and he won't be asked to do nearly as much in the NFL playing alongside guys like Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey. So we'll be able to make the best use of his talent, and he will fit the things that we're trying to do. So at the end of the day, Herbie, we got players based on, and he was a first round draft trade, right? So we got a guy. We basically stole a guy because we drafted him. He was just one of the best players available that we could get. And then we got us a home run hitter on offense to add to all the home run hitters we already have. I think if you're a Dolphin fan, even if you didn't like the draft, I know a lot of Dolphins fans wish we drafted an offensive lineman higher. Drafted an offensive lineman in the 7th round isn't really addressing a need. But at the end of the day, you know, there's still free agents out there, undrafted guys, and we'll see what they do. I'm still concerned about the tight end position, Herbie, because the tight ends we have in our roster right now, I don't know if any of them will really be able to contribute offensively. Like, they might be able to block, but I would like us to have a guy that we could depend on in the passing game, because that would help really open things up for the passing game that we have. But ultimately, what we got, I think these players will be able to help us in what we're trying to achieve, and I can't be upset.
No, absolutely, bro. So let's go ahead and just focus in on the guys that you drafted, specifically Cam Smith, right? So I actually have a couple of articles up that actually details the draft and all that stuff. So let me go ahead and share this screen on my end, right? So, wait a minute, share this tab instead. All right, so here's who you got. Breakdown, 51 overall. You had Cam Smith, 6'1", bro, 180, 4.4 speed, 38-inch vertical. Like, you guys have the depth, and you guys don't really need him. But, hey, Vic Fangio, bro, he said it. You can't have enough cornerbacks in my offense, bro. I mean, my defense.
Facts.
David Etchon, bro. 4.32 at the comp.
God. And he can catch.
And he could catch, bro. And then you got Elijah Higgins over here at Stanford, who's probably not even gonna make the team, bro. But good luck to him, man. So, I like this team. I mean, I like what you guys did. I just do think that you guys should have gotten offensive linemen, bro. But if they're not there, then they're not there, man.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go ahead and share this. I don't know if I get the audio on my end, but I'm going to play it. Let me see. Can you get audio or no?
Yeah, I can hear it, yeah.
Dream scenario.
Yeah, I hear it, yeah.
All right, give me 1 second. Because I have to make sure that I am playing the audio out of my thing, bro. So give me a moment. Let me go ahead and play it while I'm working on this.
That Darnell was going to be on the board at 51. It was shocking that he was on the board at number 51. If you were watching our live coverage, I turned around and saw the selection, no spoilers, and was quite shocked and puzzled that they went corner here. And again, Cam Smith is a good player. He's a really good player. He might have been the best corner on the board when the Dolphins were picking here. But you have Xavier Howard. You have Jalen Ramsey. You have Kader Kohu. You have Nick Needham, who you re-signed in free agency. Why are you going corner here? Here's Tom Downey's scouting report on him. Good size with fluidity, athleticism. The ball skills are there with 6 interceptions, 24 pass breakups in his college career, 1 interception this past season. Iffy technique out of breaks can't get him into flag issues. That coming from Tom Downey, our draft expert here at Chat Sports. Taking a look at the stats from the 2022 season. 27 tackles, 1 interception, 5 pass breakups, no forced fumbles for Cam Smith at South Carolina in 2022. Was a 2-year starter for the Gamecocks. Grade the pick of Cam Smith down in the comment section. Type A, B, C, D, or F. It is the pinned comment. So when you get a second, go and reply. Grade the Cam Smith pick. Dane Brugler says this. Wild tendencies and unrefined technique are the concerns. But Smith has all the talent necessary to become a long-time NFL starter if he makes the necessary adjustments. He can work either inside or outside and will fit best in a zone-heavy scheme. That coming from Dane Brugler of The Athletic.
All right, man. So what do you feel about that right there, Rod?
Well, I mean, it's just analysis and opinions from one guy. I mean, when I hear that, at the end of the day, I don't disagree with his initial point, Herbie, because what he said was how I felt in the moment. When I seen that we drafted Cam Smith, I'm like, nigga, we're 4 corners deep at minimum right now, and now we're getting another guy. So I could kind of feel where he came from in that aspect, but I'm pretty confident in what the coaching staff can do with a player like him, and I think they can get the best out of him. And I turned around on it, dog. I warmed up to the pick, dog. I warmed up to it.
All right, man. So while I'm cool with it too. Like at the end of the day, like I'm saying I'm cool with it. Like I'm actually gonna be paying attention to what Cam Smith does in his career. But like I'm not gonna be fucking paying attention to him. He shouldn't be, bro. Like he's a Dolphins player now, bro. So, but let's go ahead and look at some highlights of.
What's the best way to invest $1,000 right now this year?
That boy David H.
It's not
Now
shit,
I
bro.
will say this, based off of watching him,
he's going to be a favorite for the Mad.
Based off of watching him, there's
Came to
one
my
thing
mind,
that.
just
Hey,
had-
hold on, I'll pause this right here. Based off of watching him, there's one thing that I didn't notice, and I think it's the fact that he has a 4.3 speed. Actually, hold on. Where is it at? Let me see this one. He has 4.3 speed, but it doesn't always come up, if that makes any sense, right? Does that make any sense?
Oof.
Now, that's not a good example of that because that completely shits on everything that I said. But if you know what I mean, like, you know how some people are faster, like their track speed is faster than their play speed?
Yeah, no. I understand that point. I can understand that point.
Like that right there, right? Like he scored, he did everything, right? But it didn't feel like
a 4.3, like
it didn't feel like
yeah.
a 4.3, right? Like I've seen some plays where I've seen his tight end running side by side with him, bro. Like,
yeah.
And I think maybe it's his acceleration. Maybe it might take him a little bit longer just to get going. And once he's going, he's gone. But I think that's the one thing about it. But again, 4.32 is 4.32, bro. Like you can't say that's not fast, bro. Like,
oof, man. And he gets out into the open field, Herbie. You're done.
What? You guys are literally building the fastest team that's ever been put on Madden, bro. Like, like that's what you guys are doing right now, bro. I will say this about him though. Despite the fact he's 5'8", 188 pounds, the fact that he could run inside is crazy at his size, dog. So
what? Yes.
You don't have to do just jet sweeps. He's not no gadget
guy. And outside zones and shit like that.
Outside zones and all of that, dog. Yeah. He can run inside, bro. So listen, they said that Mike McDaniel, and I did not put the S on it because I know you always correct me, Rod. Mike McDaniel was ecstatic when they got him, bro. Like that man can't wait to get rid of Rasheem Mostert. Which one's the one that he hates, bro?
Well, he hated. He got rid of Chase Edmonds.
Yeah, Chase Edmonds. Boy, he hated Chase Edmonds. He's like, you'll never ever.
Honestly, I think Jeff Wilson might be the one to get the boot, dog. I think because Jeff had really one good game and then he was just average the rest of the time.
That's
so
crazy, man.
But
so yeah, man, like this is clearly they're prioritizing the offense, bro. They're prioritizing like. I think their draft strategy now is, bro, we're not going to reach on anything, bro. Like, we're going to follow the board. We're going to go to the board, bro. Like, yeah, we need an offensive lineman, but if that offensive lineman is not that good, why reach? You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, yeah, you're right. And in regards to Darnell Washington, who was, when we did our draft talk, he was the guy I was looking for. What I found out while watching the draft was that he was injured. Mm-hmm. He had dealt with an injury, so that's why he fell so far as he did. But ultimately, Herbie, these guys get paid for it. And I'll say this about Chris Grier. Outside of Noah Igbenogany, which is a clear miss by him, a clear miss, he's actually been pretty damn good at drafting DBs. That's the other reason why, even though we drafted Cam Smith, when you look at the coaching staff we have in place, and just Grier, his specialty has been being able to draft receivers and DBs. So at the end of the day, I'm good. Listen. If he's gonna be a contributor, which I believe he will, that's all he could ever want.
All right, man. So let's go ahead and close out the show real quick on the Cowboys draft, man. And I have a good question to ask, bro, on the banner, bro. The question is, what are the Cowboys doing, man? 'Cause I don't know. I don't know, man. It's hard. It gets harder and harder to love this team, Rod. I promise you, dog. Shit. It gets harder and harder to love this team, and again, bro, like, no disrespect to who we drafted so far. We drafted Mozzie Smith. We drafted
you got Luke Schoonmaker from
Schoonmaker. Like, these guys could really be quality players, bro. Like, and again, when you draft or redraft, like, you can only do so much. So I'm not even gonna hold that against them or whatnot, right? But it's just we're getting our ass kicked by people in our division, specifically the Eagles right now, right? The Eagles were in the fucking Super Bowl, and they just got Jalen Carter. Like, Howie Roseman is the best GM of all time at this point, dog. Like,
nah, he's a force, dog. He's the new fucking Ozzie Newsome right now.
And the crazy part is he got fired for freaking what's his name, bro? What's his name fired him. They realized it was one of the biggest mistakes ever. They brought him back, and he got them back in the Super Bowl again, dog. Like Chip Kelly.
Incredible,
Chip Kelly fired him. They let him go. They realized, they identified that, oh, my God, Howie was the bread and butter of this right now for from the personnel department. Get him back. Him having the humility to come back, and it's like they're whipping our ass right now, dog. So this is our draft, bro. We drafted Mozzie Smith, bro. I like him a lot. I've been watching film on him. I didn't watch film on him coming into it, but I've been watching film on him. Like, he has the potential to be Haloti Ngata, or what's that dude from the Tampa Bay Bucks?
I know who you. I know who you mean.
He has potential.
Vita Vea.
Vita Vea, like, he has that kind of potential with more speed or whatever, right? But the one knock on him is the fact that he's not consistent with his motor, right? And we can't afford to get people that are not consistent with their motor, dog, because we don't have the locker room or the culture to get in people's asses like Philly does with Jalen Carter. They're going to get his ass. You don't fucking play every single play? You're in Dallas, bro. Who cares, bro? So that's something I'm worried about, dog. Luke Schoonmaker, dog. Hey, man. Like, who? I guess, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Would you have preferred to go tight end in the first round, or does that not matter to you?
Honestly, bro, like, at that point, I wasn't gonna reach for anybody. Like, I think we were gonna get Carl Canard or whatever his name is, dog. From but Buffalo got him, and then at that point, we're just like, whatever. We gotta take who we gotta get, bro. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
we got Devmarian Overshown, bro. Like, we got people that don't even seem like they have real names in this draft, dog. Like,
one website I read, they like that pick, the DeMarion pick.
I mean, hey, it might be. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been better with our second and third round picks than we've been with our first round picks recently, dog. I just want to bring up this quick point before we close out the show. When did we fall in love with Michigan players, dog? Like,
yeah, man. Y'all building a new school up there in Dallas,
it's
man.
Weird, man. Like, it's weird, Rod. Like, the funny thing about this is the fact that the Cowboys specifically, right? We have drafted, and let me go ahead and make sure I show this right here. Whatever. I like this. This actually a bit better. We have drafted 2 Michigan players ever. 1999, Tony Pools in the 11th round, and then the next player we drafted in Michigan from Michigan was 2017 with Jordan Lewis. And then we decided to draft 2 Michigan players back to back, bro. Like, let's stick to the course, bro. Like, let's stick to the course here, bro. Like, let's stick to the course. Like, what was it about Michigan? Like, that was like, ooh, we got to get everybody from Michigan this year, bro. Like, I don't get it, man. But
some in the water, man.
Yeah, that's it, man. I didn't want to take too long, bro, because it wasn't too much to talk about on my end, bro. Any last words though, Rod, man?
Well, Herb, I'm pretty sure the schedule release will be out pretty soon. So I'm sure next time we hop on, we'll be able to talk about the next hot topics coming up. But ultimately, man, I enjoyed. Man, there's been so much going on in sports, Herbie, between the NBA, the NBA playoffs, the hockey playoffs, freaking the NFL draft, baseball season.
Man, we gotta listen. We have to plan our next Vegas trip around this time because it's clearly like this is when we're supposed to be at Vegas, dog. Like for real.
What? Facts. Speaking facts. Yes, sir.
This is when we're supposed to go to Vegas, bro. Doing all the
yes,
playoffs,
sir.
Bro. So, with that though, man, we're gonna go ahead and close it out, man. Appreciate you for doing this for me as always, dog.
You already know, man.
Appreciate the people who watching us and support us, bro. We'll see y'all next week, man. Deuces.
Deuces.